Once in a small village there lived two men. One was a teacher who followed the ancient wisdom of the Stoics. The other was a restless thinker, much like Friedrich Nietzsche. At first glance, they seemed very different. The Stoic teacher spoke of calmness, control, and accepting what cannot be changed. The Nietzsche-like thinker praised strength, struggle, and the will to overcome. The villagers wondered, how could these two ever agree? But as time passed, they began to see that these two men, though different in their words, shared something deep in their hearts. Let us begin with the Stoics. They were followers of thinkers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. The Stoics believed that life was full of things we cannot control: sickness, loss, the actions of others. But they also believed in one great power: our own mind. A Stoic would say that suffering comes not from events, but from how we see them. If a man loses his wealth, he can choose despair, or he can choose to see it as a chance to live simply. If he faces pain, he can cry out, or he can endure it with dignity. The Stoics taught that true freedom is not in having everything we want, but in wanting only what is good for us. Now, let us turn to Nietzsche. He was a man who wrote with fire, who challenged the weak and praised the strong. He spoke of the will to power, the drive in all living things to grow, to conquer, to become more than they are. Nietzsche hated weakness, pity, and resignation. He believed that suffering was not something to avoid, but something to embrace because it makes us stronger. He said, "What does not kill me makes me stronger." To him, life was a battle, and only those who fought with courage deserved to win. At first, these two seem opposite. The Stoic accepts fate, while Nietzsche fights against it. The Stoic seeks peace, while Nietzsche seeks struggle. But look deeper, and you will see that both agree on one great truth: life is hard, and we must face it with strength. The Stoics did not run from suffering. They trained for it. They practiced enduring hunger, cold, and discomfort, so that when real hardship came, they would not break. Nietzsche also believed in training, but for him, it was not just about enduring pain, but about seeking it. He thought that only through struggle could a man become his best self. Both believed that comfort makes us weak, and that difficulty makes us strong. They also agreed on the importance of self-mastery. The Stoics said that no man is free if he is a slave to his desires. If you cannot control your anger, your greed, or your fear, you are not truly free. Nietzsche also spoke of self-control. He admired those who could command themselves before commanding others. He called them the higher men, those who had overcome their weaknesses and risen above the crowd. Another thing they shared was their distrust of pity. The Stoics believed that pity was a useless emotion. If someone suffers, help them, but do not weep for them, because tears do nothing. Nietzsche hated pity even more. He thought it made people weak, that it kept them from growing. Both believed in strength, not in tears. But there was one big difference. The Stoics believed in virtue: justice, wisdom, courage, and moderation. They thought that living a good life meant following these virtues, no matter what. Nietzsche, on the other hand, rejected the idea of universal virtues. He thought that what was good for one man might not be good for another. He believed that each person must find their own values, their own path. Yet even here, there is a hidden agreement. The Stoics did not follow rules blindly. They believed in using reason to decide what was right. And Nietzsche, though he rejected old morals, did not say, "Do whatever you want." He said, "Become who you are." Both taught that a man must think for himself, must find his own way to live well. So what do Nietzsche and Stoicism have in common? Both tell us that life is not easy. Both tell us that we must face it with courage, with discipline, with strength. The Stoic does this by mastering his mind, by accepting what he cannot change. Nietzsche does it by embracing struggle, by seeking to overcome. One finds peace in surrender, the other finds power in battle, but both are fighting the same fight. In the end, the villagers saw that the two men were not so different after all. The Stoic teacher and the Nietzsche-like thinker both lived by one rule: do not fear life. Face it, master it, become stronger because of it. And that is a lesson worth remembering. Perhaps you are more like the Stoic, calm, thoughtful, accepting. Or perhaps you are more like Nietzsche, fiery, restless, always pushing forward. But no matter which path you choose, remember this: both roads lead to strength. Both roads ask you to be brave. And in a world that often tries to make us weak, that is a truth worth holding on to. So the next time life strikes you down, ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? What would Nietzsche say? And then rise, not with tears, but with the quiet strength of Seneca or the fierce will of Zarathustra. Because in the end, the greatest wisdom is this: life is hard, but you are harder.